Alright, so, Varus, Panda, I wanted to spectate some of your games together and go over them. See if I can identify where you guys are going right, where you guys are going wrong, and what you can improve on. Because, you know, you two both seem like you want to improve, and the first step to getting better is knowing where you're going wrong, so you can fix things. So, I was going to see if I could take a more senior approach to this and see what I can go over. So let's get started, shall we? So, the biggest thing is, your team composition is really good for engage. Your engage is phenomenal. But you don't really have much anti-siege potential. Your wave clear is basically all on Varus. Urgot has a little, Diana has a little, Zed has a little. The problem with Zed in particular is that Zed has to pop all of his energy to wave clear effectively. Them, on the other hand, they kind of have a good engage comp. They have very good scaling. So, let's see where this game goes. So, preliminary stuff. Generally speaking, that's fine. You don't want to... Right, so, you don't want to ward here if they've got a lane comp that is really aggressive. Like a Blitzcrank, like a Thresh, like a Pike, someone that'll pull you in and kill you. But other than that, this is generally kind of safe. So it's fine. Another place I would recommend is here. This bush is generally where a lot of players invade. So you can come in through this bush real quick, plop a word, and then immediately leave. Those are generally two safe places. Generally, you only really want to ward here when you're going through that bush, coming from a leash, because you don't want the enemy bot lane to catch you good and tear your butt apart. But generally, ward positions are fine. Not a whole lot to speak about there. Let's see if I can remember. Yep, okay. So, your picks are fine. You're not really going against an aggressive bot lane. Like, Lulu took Ancient Coin, as you can see. So, the Rejuve beat is fine. I would generally go for a refillable pot, because it'll be more effective. But, it's personal preference, really. If you get poked out hard, it's something that you might want to consider, going for potions instead of Rejuve bead. And if the jungler ganks, you're going to have a harder time recovering from it. So, let's see this leash, let's see where the game goes, etc, etc. You see they're starting your red buff. That's unfortunate. Neither of your laners warded it. So, here's the thing. She just put up a shield that would have blocked 2 autos, but you just tanked the whole thing. And with your lack of potions, you're now weak in lane. They're free to bully you. You're half HP. They're gonna bully the crap out of you. So, no, bad directed camera. Let's watch Varus and Sion. So, here's the thing. You know now, they're not going very aggressive, but you're still playing back. The problem with melee laners is that you still need... Stop it. Jesus. You still need to stand close to your AD carry, like you're doing now. Because your zone of pressure is stronger than most ranged champions, but at the same time, you have to be in range to apply it. Like right there. They are free to bully Varus on the merits that you're just not close enough. And you see, because you don't have a high amount of HP, they can all in you. They're free to do so. That, and you didn't stand close enough to get level 2 with Varus. So now you're behind the 8 ball. He's going to hit level 3 before you, and so are they. They're going to be able to bully, as they're doing right now. This lane would be worse if Lulu had Spell Thieves, because the poke would just be a whole lot worse. And she'd be getting gold from it. But, I mean, you do what you can. So generally, your power spike is level 3. Level 3 is where you want to go in. You want to Sion E to slow a target, and then Q them, and let Varus do his thing. Varus, you need to auto ability. Like, walking up there, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Generally, you want to play back with your AD carry when you're in this kind of position. Diana is ganking for some reason. She's ganking a 2v2. She's flashed. They're gonna get away. No idea why she ganked. Kind of a waste of time. Like, she got a summoner. Woo. What are the other lanes doing? It's 0-1. Who got first blood? Kind of hard to tell, to be honest. What? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to work this thing. Well. Zed, what do you... I'm bad at this. Anyway, so yeah, let's go back to bot lane. So one of the things you need to think about, Panda, is that your Sion is really, really strong. So you need to stand forward with him. You two basically need to be standing parallel to one another in this lane. Because here's the thing, right? You have zones of pressure based on your ability ranges. Your zone of pressure comes out to here in auto attacks, but it comes out to here on abilities. Although that zone of pressure is very weak. Sion's also comes out to about here with his Q range. So you two, between Varus' auto range and Sion's Q range, have generally the same zone of pressure. If they try to poke Varus, Sion's going to blow him up. If they try to poke Sion, Varus is going to auto them. So you have a very delicate balance between effective ranges. You can be within poke range for an auto Sion, so long as Varus has your back. So standing in parallel in this lane, in parallel like you're doing right now, in parallel like they're doing, is generally the better idea. So you want to try and keep your positioning in lane as one of the things you're thinking about a lot. Other than that, pretty standard lane. Yeah, Varus and Twitch are going about even. Oh, got the kill, I'm stupid. So, Jax and Maokai are coming into gank. You see Maokai, Jax just kind of walked up. They're basically applying lane pressure. They're leaving lane to apply pressure, and it's not really helping them. See, because Diana's done her red side jungle. Or blue side jungle. So, there's actually no point in them coming down here. What'd you buy first? Boots. Is he waiting for an item? Pickaxe? Let us go just a little bit ahead. There you go. What'd you buy? Oh, Boots Dagger. I mean, that's fine. What's the Rejuve bead for? Oh, I had P and pause apparently. Yeah, I don't really know what that Rejuve bead is for other than like Death Stands. Strange pickup. Sion is still on Relic Shield. So that's a problem. Generally you want to upgrade that as soon as possible. So if it's safe to leave when you have 500 gold to do so. Because it goes from a minute long to 30 seconds, meaning that you have a much easier time of proccing it because it's up more often. This gives you better lane sustain, this gives you more gold, which in turn allows you to upgrade it faster. So it's just a general good thing to do. This engage is good. Lulu's out of position, behind the minion wave, Sion E's Q's. Simple, clean, effective. You guys needed to back out a little earlier because of that return poke that just happened. But other than that, it's fine. Like, that was pretty good. That's the kind of lane pressure you want to push on. Because the only reason Varus is good in the meta right now is because he has a really strong lane phase. Sion helps to bolster that, because Sion also has a really good laning phase. So keeping these two things in mind, you can make some really good team compositions. Like, if Jax comes right now to gank, Twitch is too low. You will literally just kill him. So, like, Varus needs to backpedal. Alright, so, how to fight that. Alright, let's go back a few seconds. Alright, Twitch is coming up. Sion, when you see Jax, you don't need to run away. You need to move towards your AD carry. If you remember Twitch's HP, he's at about 200. You knew this the last time you saw him, and you knew that Lulu just backed. So you need to move up with your AD carry and defend him. Because you'll be fine if you walk away now, but there's no way Panda will get out. He will die If you abandon him like that, he is dead. That is just how that works. You see the MIA pings. You do not know where Maokai is, and that's where I understand that you ran, but you also need to remember that Maokai is mostly CC. Like, he's bad in maxing saplings. So, generally speaking, he's just going to provide more crowd control that keeps Varus from going away. Twitch and Jax are the damage of this gank, even if Maokai was there, and Twitch is 200 HP. Like, you'd be fine if you'd walked up, but now Panda is going to die. Like, that's just a thing. He's already flashed, he's already healed, he's dead. In not stepping up, you have killed him. Yeah. You had tools to work with. You could have saved him. And, I mean, that's just the unfortunate reality situation. Like, you see Maokai came to join the gank, considering he was over here when the gank started, there was no way he was going to make it in time. You just needed to walk closer to your AD carry, Q Jax when he jumped in before he got the combo off, and walk away with your AD carry. So, that was a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. You guys right now, yeah, Jax got the kill, so Twitch has an assist, Lulu doesn't. So you're not really behind. You're behind a tiny bit in CS, but that's no big deal. Let's see. Cloth armor this early, not necessarily the best idea. You kind of want to go for boots to get into better positions for fights. And HP, really. Because the cloth won't give you a lot onto your base stats. But it's really good to have HP to bolster your base magic resistant armor. Especially with Aftershock. Aftershock makes the... what's the word I'm looking for? Cloth armor that much more relevant. Zed comes in. Kind of just awkwardly autos at first. Nice. Zed double kill. I see that might be where you start popping off that 3-0 Zed. I like it. I can get behind it. Okay, so yeah, this is perfectly fine. Sion's roaming. We know the enemy bot lane isn't going to approach Varus, so the Sion roam is perfectly fine. Yeah, ignore the ward on the pink ward because they can come jump you. Understandable. Then from there, you're just kind of playing the waiting game. Pushing in the lane. Bloop. Bloop. Holy crap, the pings. Okay, so Diane is pinging Urgot. Urgot needs to teleport back to lane or anything. Yeah, they're going for gank up there. So here, you needed to turn. You needed to see that Maokai did not have vision on you, Sion, and you needed to Q Maokai and then keep walking. The best time for you to Q is when they cannot retaliate and they don't see it coming. Naturally, you're going to walk away. So if you stand in the bush and Q them and get a max duration Q, knock them up and stun them, it's really, really easy to just disengage. One of the things I've noticed is that you don't stand in minion range often enough. So, although you want your AD carry to have more experience and be a higher level than you, you want to hit level 6. Level 6 is your strongest power spike in the game. Your combo becomes stupid. You can E someone to slow them, ult into them, at the end of the ult, Q them to knock them up, and then Varus has an ultimate. You have a stupidly long CC chain. You just need to stay in lane long enough to hit level 6. No glaring mistakes here. Little things, very little things. More of a macro play than a micro play. Varus is using spells a little too often. Definitely want to have mana up for when you are fighting. Because, I mean, right now you don't have the mana for rotational spells. So you're suboptimal fights. You know, Sion can walk away. Basically, with how that works. Varus, what are you doing? Varus, what are you doing? You need to be in that fight. You cannot continue to farm minions. You need to be in that fight. Now you need to flank. You need to auto that Jax. You need to come in from behind with your team. See? That's fine. You just needed to do that early. Zed probably would not have died if you had did that early. And I mean, ultimately you come out positive in the fight. So, it was a good fight, but Varus, you cannot just farm lane like that. That gets people killed. Recalling, Sion's back in base. So yeah, you know to rush the Remnant of the Aspect. Even if it doesn't necessarily give you the Sightstone early on, every 20 seconds you get a charge, it's so good. CSing is fine. Like, it's just that, it's fine. You're beating Twitch, but Twitch has kills. So generally, your bot lane is still equal in terms of strength, just because Varus has a good early game and Twitch does not. So in a one-on-one fight, you guys go pretty even. It's basically a skill matchup. But you notice, of the laners, you are the weakest. It's just because you guys aren't coordinated. Lulu comes in. Yeah, Sion, why are you running? You play way too safe. If you're Sion, you need to be aggressive. You need to look at them and say, if you dare think about fucking with my AD carry, I will literally end your life. You needed to wait for that ult a little later, but otherwise, good engage. Yeah, definitely good call on Sion to go in for that. They were overextended not having a turret, so it was a free kill. Good job, Sion. Why you guys are walking into that bush, I'm not particularly sure. I understand Panda, but Sion kind of walks in after him. Just a funny little thing. So, Sion, where are you going? They're making the right play. You need to be with them. Because let me go ahead and say it like this. You may not necessarily think this is a disruptive play. You may think that walking up here and harassing them is a good thing, but I'll tell you right now, it's not. Because here's what you're doing when you walk up to this ward. You are saying, we have priority at Dragon. With this being warded, it shows them that you are alone. So you are walking in up to a Jax who has a kill, and you're saying, hey, fuck Wad, look what I can do, and yelling at him. This tells the enemy team that you're confident enough to do that. That you have people over here, and with their lack of vision on Dragon, that you're probably doing Dragon. If they were in a better position, they could come in through this bush, and you don't have any of this warded. They could be waiting in lying in wait to steal. Now, admittedly, they're not doing that, but if they were smarter, they would be. Because you guys aren't ridiculously far ahead. Well, you are in CS, basically. Like 50 CS on Jax, 20 CS on Twitch. Yeah, you guys are ahead in CS. But not a lot of kills. Anyway, yeah, that's just a little thing. You don't want to go up like that. If anything, you want to tank aggro for Dragon, because you're super tanky, and keeping the HP up on Diana helps. Especially around this point in the game, it can help her clear safely. It can keep her with enough HP to go in during a fight if you guys decide to siege mid. Because you could do that right now. You guys have a higher lane priority, and you see that Zed is kind of doing whatever the fuck he wants. He's already that strong. So yeah, just don't peek your head out like that. You think it's a good distraction or something, but in reality it's giving the enemy team more information than you might think. So now you're rotating the mid. You're not staying together here. And this pink ward is kind of your only bastion of safety in regards to that. Otherwise you don't know where your other wards are. They might have a ward here, they might have a ward here, they might have a ward here. The only reason you guys are doing as well as you are is because you have 5-1 Zed, which is a pretty good reason to do as well as you are. Methinks they be flaming. What did the Urgot build? Oh, yeah, that seems good. Okay, so now Varus, what are you building? In particular, my question is, what is the rejuve bead for? Because you're obviously going crit. So you're gonna go either Runon's Hurricane or Static Shiv, and then Infinity Edge with the BF Sword. Like, that's a good idea. I just don't know what you're doing with this rejuve bead. It's not really good to buy if you're not building it into an item immediately. And you maybe got boots a little too soon. I understand getting them in this game if you're like roaming around a lot, but in a lot of instances I would not necessarily recommend getting them this early. Hello, Sion. Shoot you, motherfucker. So yeah, now you guys are getting overconfident. Remember that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer? Urgot is 3 levels above him. And it shows. That damage shows. Urgot is in control of the situation. That's a nice skin. Zed is not being productive. You should be fine. So let's see. What did Sion go for? Okay, so you're not building an item to help your AD carry. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's one of the things I noticed in your match history. You built Iceborne second item on Blitzcrank. You build Spirit Visage first item, or second item on Sion. It's just not a good idea to build items that don't help your teammates. Examples of what you want to buy are things like Locket, Zeke's Convergence, Knight's Vow. You just, as a support, even in on those bulky tank supports that really want to beat the crap out of people, it's better to build items to serve your AD carry than it is to try and bolster your own individual strengths. Because ultimately, like, it'll help you, but you want to maximize the efficiency of your items. And while Spirit Visage is a strong item, things like Knight's Vow actually serve a better purpose. Because you notice you've built, you're building Spirit Visage against a 1-3 Teemo, an 0-5 Maokai, an 0-3 Lulu. When the 4-2 Twitch is the actual problem. That's the thing you want to be defending from. That's why a Knight's Vow would be really good. Because Knight's Vow gives you armor, but it just generally gives you your bonus ally damage reduction in general. So you really want to be building something like that to help protect them. Like this right here, you would have been a lot better off if you built Knight's Vow. I mean, you still would have died, because that was just a bad place to be. But one of the things I'm noticing that you two like to do, and this is generally just a trait of lower elo players in general, is that you're not prioritizing a particular thing to do. Oftentimes, you're just dirtling around in the jungle because you've got nothing better to do. And that's not a good way of going about things. You either want to be farming, or pushing objectives, or setting up. Like, your team is dirtling around in bot lane trying to get kills. And almost getting killed themselves. When in reality, you could be setting up for Rift Herald and then taking a top and pushing down, rotating your lead top side to get the turrets, and in turn, get bonus gold for the whole team. Like, there are a lot of team plays you could be coordinating that you're just not. So, like, on a macro level, that's where your issue is. Because, like, you're all the way up here, you're probably farming raptors. I didn't really see. Not raptors, so wolves. Yeah, you're probably going to finish an item, aren't you? Like, what are you building? There's no item that builds out of all three of those things. And you're not going like Runon's Bloodthirster, are you? Yeah, oh Jesus, you are. Yeah, generally go 2 crit items. Go attack speed item, then Infinity Edge, then you can get lifesteal. Because the lifesteal is bolstered by damage, but crit is where you get a lot of your damage, so it's really important to have. So yeah, we're watching Urgot Farming Simulator. So you're setting up for drag, right? One of the things you need to focus on is getting the team in position. Like, Diana's going for Baron, but drag is coming out. Like, I don't understand. You definitely need to ping that dragon like you just did. You don't want to fire that arrow. You just don't. Because firing that arrow tells them exactly where you are. It tells them that you're setting up for dragon. Because you're in the dragon pit. You're the 80 carry, a slow and immobile damage dealer, all the way over here in the pit. AKA not where you want to be. So firing that arrow over the wall tells them exactly what your plans are. If they were in a better position to contest, you'd be putting your team at a disadvantage. Fortunately or unfortunately, they're bad, so that's not really a worry. Like here, Twitch knew you were at dragon because you fired an arrow. And then you didn't show up for a while. Twitch knew exactly where you were and he's going to catch you. Like, you can't kill him. Zed's gone bot lane, you're running away from your tower, you can't kill him. So you guys just went 1 for 0. And Sion now has to recall. Because he's too low. Meanwhile, you guys are getting overconfident top lane and trading 1 for 1. In a situation like this, where you're really far ahead, 1 for 1 is never a good trade. Unless it's like on Twitch. They're 1 fed target. Other than that, you don't want to go 1 for 1. You just don't. It's never a good idea. Wards, you need a sweeping lens. You already got 4 on your aspect. You need a sweeping lens. Zed's already got 1, but that's not enough. You need another. Especially as the support. There's no way you're going to be placing enough wards to properly use a trinket and your aspect. Oh, Lulu. You're adorable. Look at him flex on that Lulu. It's wonderful. Alright, so let me back up. I was watching Urgot flex on people. Alright, so you're walking through the jungle. It's very, very dangerous. If Jax had walked down, you would have been dead. Now that he's got his Trinity Force, he's going to pop your ass. Again, no idea why he's engaging on the 7-1 Urgot. He's got no business in doing so. So you're grouping top now. Like, this is a good idea. This is what you should be doing. San, you wanted to tank that turret aggro. You definitely wanted to take a few more tower shells. Just because it's that, or like Diana, or the low Urgot. So you want to be one taking those shells if you're not going to kill that kill like that. Rest in peace, man. And at this point, there's not much to commentate. You guys are so far ahead that they are hopelessly far behind and probably just going to lose outright. I would be amazed if they could launch some sort of counterattack. There's Q-Max. It's personal preference. A lot of people max E first because it's just far more reliable to land. And despite Varus' ability to poke, a lot of his damage comes from on his E. So in team fights, having the E up is generally better than going for the Q. But again, it's personal preference, really. Like there. Alright, let's go back just a little bit. Right? Oh wait, you're dead. Where the fuck were we? Help. Alright, so they're going for Teemo. Never mind, I went too far. I don't fucking know. Yeah, okay. So you're not with your team. You're just hopelessly out of position. That death was your own hand. Because you were not with your team. You were half HP. There was no reason not to be here. But you stood back and Assassin Twitch, being all 8 and 3 and stuff, kind of just popped you. Oh god, visual bugs. But yeah. This is where the game ends. You just taunt them for a while. And yeah. So not much more to say about that. You guys did pretty well. Let's watch that Nexus explosion together. Position in the last fight, Varus isn't there. Sion's fine. There's not much more to say about him.
Away, my suffering.
Yeah, that's you're so far ahead, there's nothing to say here. It is sad that a Twitch that is that good will just lose. Unfortunate. So yeah, final build. You guys had some weird itemization issues. Like, with just a Zeal, you only get 15% crit chance. So, Infinity Edge only puts you up to 30%. It's really not good for you to go build order like that. You definitely want to go BF Sword into your crit item, into IE, and then Bloodthirster. Definitely don't want to build the Bloodthirster as your first full item. The only AD carry I'd recommend doing that on is Draven, because Bloodthirster is dumb on Draven. He's more of a caster, so his Q augment doubling his damage doubles that much more damage. It's really, really good. Sion, you're not building support items. And as sad as it is for me to say that, if you're a support, you need to be building support items. You can build full tank items later on, something like an Abyssal Mask to help the team. But your entire existence is focused on helping allies. Like I said, good items are Locket of the Iron Solari, Zeke's Convergence, Knight's Vow. If you're feeling frisky and need some engage, Righteous Glory is always a good idea. Those are all really good pickups for you because they all help. They help the team. So that's ultimately what to do. Your microplay a lot of the time is fine. There's just some bigger mistakes you need to pick up on and stop. But beyond that, you're fine. It was a decent laning phase. You guys kind of dirtled around in the mid game. You should have gone for that top turret, as I said. But other than that, it's fine. And then your late game, I mean, you snowballed out of control. You had a fucking 12-1 Urgot. Nobody can stop that man. He is an unkillable monster. So yeah. Rotate more to push objectives with your lead. Push objectives. Don't just dirtle around the jungle. Stay symmetrical in your bot lane so that you can't just have one of you pushed out. And yeah, that's all. Otherwise, pretty good game. Pretty good game. So I will chat at you gentlemen later. And GG. Oh no, I gotta stop the recording.